Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So tonight I'm going to explain something that I alluded to in last night's live stream about knowing your chords. And if you know your chords, you know all of the notes on your fretboard, even though you might not know that you know all the notes on your fretboard. So I'm going to show you exactly how to decipher which note is on which fret. So as long as you know your chords, you're going to be able to find all of the notes on the fretboard. We're going to start with our E shape and we're going to be using the A shape. And for those of you that don't know, the E shape stays the same all the way up the guitar, but we have to play a bar chord because we need to bring the bottom of the guitar up with the chord as we move up for it to be the same configuration. So as you play an E, you then play a bar chord. And that'll be our F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then we're back up to E again. So this is our octave. As soon as we get here, our guitar starts again. So we do exactly the same notes, and you'll see all the dots are the same up here as they are down here. You've got 2 frets and then a dot and then a fret and a dot. We've got 2 frets and then a dot, a fret and a dot. So it means that you can instantly double your lead guitar playing if you want to, or the chords if you want to try and play them that high. Generally that doesn't happen, but you'll be playing all the lead lines you play down here. You can just move straight up to the same dots and you've doubled the amount of lead lines you can play. So as I worked my way through all of those chords, the lowest note that I'm hitting is called the root note, and that is an A. So we know that this note, because I'm playing an A chord, an A major, the lowest note is an A. So as we go through, we now know all of the notes on this low E string. And when we play an A, exactly the same principle applies, that when we move up, we have to bring the bottom of the guitar with us. So it means that we have to play a bar chord as we move up, and this is A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then we're back to A again, because this is the octave, this is our second guitar here where everything is the same. So we don't even have to worry about learning anything up here after these 2 dots because we already know it down here. So once we've got all of those chords and we work our way up, we now know the lowest note of the chord is an A, because it's an A major chord, and it goes for the minor chords as well. A minor, the lowest note is an A. But anyway, as we move up, we know that then that's the A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, etc. So how do we turn this into now knowing all of the notes on the fretboard? And it is really easy. Just to throw in here quickly that your high E string is an E as well, same as your low E string. So it means that any chord that you play, say for example a G, is going to have a G at the bottom and a G at the top. So the next thing we need to do is get strict with our fingers. And what I mean by that is by having 1 finger per fret. So I'm playing with my first finger here, and instead of moving up, I'm going to use my second finger, then I'm going to use my third finger, I'm going to use my little finger. So we're keeping nice and strict and not kind of moving our hand up and down as we're moving with the notes. And I mean, generally you want to approach your playing that way anyway to be as organized and as efficient as possible. So I'm going to use this G as an example. Now what we do is go away from you by 2 strings and use your third finger, which will be 2 frets higher up. And we get another G. That's the octave of the G. So we've got 2 Gs there. So we've instantly found where our G is on our D string, which we didn't even know before because we only know the chords on the E string and the A string going up. So once you've done that, replace your third finger with your first finger and be strict with your fingers, and now place down your little finger following that same procedure of missing a string, so going down 2 strings, and we've now got G again. So now we know where the G is on the B string, which we didn't know before. So that relationship, replace, third finger, going down. That is always going to be the same for your low E string and your A string. So it means that, say that I'm playing this C here, because we know that we've got our C chord there, or C chord here as well. That lowest note is the C. So we go C, and then it was third finger, and make sure you miss out a string, because you want to go up an octave. If you don't, you'll just get the fifth. So you want to have first finger, miss a string, third finger, replace, first finger, miss a string, and then little finger. So now we've got all of these C's that we didn't know before, just going from our chord. So it's exactly the same thing. So when we play our first finger, third finger, you know, you can just get used to moving that up and down. So it means that now we know all of the notes on the low E string and the A string, and then all you need to do is you can literally move it anywhere. And as we moved up, we knew that that was a D sharp from our chords that we've learned going up, the bar chords, and we now know that our D sharps are all here. Kind of like that. And you can reverse engineer it. You don't always have to start at the bottom if you're thinking, right, I've got a note here that I don't know what it is. You just follow, again, be strict with the fingers, little finger, then miss a string, come towards you, first finger, and then replace. And then we found that it's a G sharp. So you can reverse engineer it to find any note on your fretboard. You know the note, but you don't know that you know the note because you haven't found how to access the knowledge that the chords have given you. So I hope that that has made sense, and that you're now having a mess around just by playing octaves. And it's really useful as well, because if you put down your first finger and your third finger, you now get an octave. If you mute the strings in between the strings that you're playing, you get that kind of sound, and you can move it down a fret. And if you want to, I mean, it's a little bit trickier, but you can get the notes playing together. So it is a technique that's used quite a lot just in itself for lead guitar breaks, but also supplying a little bit extra to any rhythm work that you might be having going on in your songs. I think that once you get familiar with playing your chords, and maybe if you get into a little bit of lead playing as well, you start to learn the notes and know where they are just by default because of the amount that you're playing and just knowing your keys, but not having sat down and learnt the fretboard. And that's something that I really want to emphasize, that if you're learning to play the guitar and you're feeling like you don't know the fretboard, or you feel a bit stressed because it's something that you think you should know, don't worry about it. The most important thing about playing the guitar is enjoyment. Make sure you're enjoying doing it, and you will pick up the theory along the way. That's always the best way to do it. Just follow your own journey. Don't let theory get in the way of your creativity, because it's all about you as a musician, you as a player. Just play the way that you want to play, because this kind of stuff will come along with you in the journey, and all you need to know is just this one trick, and you know all the notes now on your fretboard. So when somebody asks you, oh, what note are you playing, you know, say here, you know that that's a G, because you don't even have to play the G. Just look at your guitar and imagine your fingers where they would be in that octave, and then you know that that is the root note of your G chord, so you know that that's a G. So you don't have to worry about sitting down and, you know, having the guitar in the corner collecting dust while you're trying to look at a chart and learn all the notes on your fretboard. Just pick up the guitar and play and just enjoy it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Maybe you are learning to play the guitar and you feel daunted by having to learn every note on the fretboard. Or maybe you know somebody who plays the guitar and you can just point them in the direction of this video and tell them not to stress out, because all you need to do is learn your chords, which every guitarist has to do when they first start out, and then they'll be absolutely fine. Have a great rest of the morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is where you are, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!